Just as a disclaimer, this video is going to be pretty long. If you have a problem with that, sucks. What is good, YouTube? It is Rico the Fox Kid here, and this weekend I went to the ARG Championship Series in Washington, D.C. I had been planning this for about 1 or 2 months because I have actually been out of competitive play since last June when I went to the Frederick, Maryland Regional with Mermail during the Dragon Roller Spellbook format, as such that didn't really end that well. And then format after that, I was using Dragon Ruler when Return in Sixth Sense was legal, and I missed the one regional for that because of schoolwork. And then I missed the first regional of this April format due to personal commitment. So I've been out of it for about a year, so I took ARG as this moment that I really wanted to get back into the game and just so that I could still do it. Well, I did okay. I ended with a 5-4 record during the main event. Doesn't sound too good, but enough people dropped that I was still able to get a 55th place spot when top 64 got points for the ARG Championship. So I got 10 points for that, and I was satisfied to make top 64. My teammate, the Shapeworks, he was not quite as lucky. He got 65th. I was using H.A.T.E, which, for those of you who have been living under a rock and don't know what that is hands, artifacts, trap tricks, and everything else. I posted a deck profile for just hand trap tricks. I did eventually get, or hand artifacts, I did eventually get the trap trick stuff. I picked the deck for several reasons. I was debating between it, Dragon Ruler, or Mermail. I chose H.A.T.E for one because I don't think Dragons or Mermail were very strong choices for this meta because it's a very control-based, very stunny meta, very back row heavy, and Dragon Mermail have a bit of a tough time struggling with it. Like, they can do it, but it's not very easy. I invested a lot of money into the artifact engine. I didn't want to have that all go to waste. So, I figured that would be really wrong for me to just invest all this stuff and then end up not using it. Especially when I got all of them when they were actually pretty cheap. Like, Sanctum's like 55 or something now. Ignition's like 40. I got them for like 20 each. I got Moral Talk for like 15. So I felt it'd be wrong to use them. And that and like the H.A.T.E deck, whatever you want to call it, it's fairly simple and fairly straightforward. I wouldn't say it's easy because it's pretty simple to screw it up. You know, like I made a lot of really bad misplays, which has contributed to quite a bit of my losses. But it felt simple enough, and I didn't really trust myself using Dragon Lore or Mermail when I'd been out of competitive play for a year. So I think I made the right call with deck choice. So yeah, I really liked how diverse the playing field was. There were like 10 or so decks that were out there. Like, I only played throughout the 2 days because I also entered the 1K in one day. I only played throughout day one. I only played the same deck once. I hit Madolche twice, and then everything else I hit once. I never hit Mermail or Bujin day one, and then during the 1K I hit Mermail, but I never saw Bujin during that either. So yeah, pretty much the way my rounds went, I have like decks and names on the slips of paper that I was keeping track of life points off just in case any of these people top. Turns out a few of them did. Round one, I hit his name was Demario Williams. He was running Inzektor, and he got me game one because I didn't realize that Inzektor was more of a control deck than Gyro one now. And then once I caught on to that, I hit him really hard game two with like Karen Gordon, Ragnar Zero, and then game three, I just held my ground and hit him again. So I won that. Game two, I won against Girgia, Sean Couvert, and I had a really strong game one of that. I opened double Mermelio, so I was able to go to the early Black Ship of Corn once I knew he was playing Girgia, and that just kept the momentum. And actually, what won me this game was that we had a chain that was literally Solemn Warning, Wiretap, 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 which ended in his favor that my warning was negated and all my traps went back to the deck, but it also resulted in that he had nothing to stop my Trap One Nightmare. So that won me that game, and then he got game two because of a misplay on my part as usual. And game three, I managed to just open strong and beat him. Let's see. Game three was a mirror match against Brad Perenciak. I think he was a member of Team Jank, was just a team I saw running around, and it was a hate mirror match, like I think I just said. And I think he was the only guy I 2-0'd. It was he made a lot of misplays. Probably a combination of he was really tired and just general inexperience with the deck, and it was getting to his head. But yeah, that was the only 2-0 I had. Round four, I played Patrick Hoban. I got because I was undefeated by this point. He was undefeated. We got paired together. I was like, holy shit! I got to play Patrick Hoban. This is pretty cool. He's a really chill guy. I like him. He's really cool, really fun to talk to, really respectful. Um, so yeah, I just threw that out there because I know a lot of people just like give him hate for no reason. He's a cool guy once you like actually talk to him. But yeah, he was playing Mythic Dragon Ruler as he was at the last ARG, I believe. And game one, I got him pretty hard. I just opened a good, strong field. Game two, he hit me with a turn one Felgrin, and I just couldn't play around in it. In game three, I opened a really strong Pleiades play and stuff like that, and he wasn't able to get through it. So actually, I beat Pat Hoban. Don't really think that means anything. Like, I guess it means I can hold my own against a top player, but it doesn't mean I'm better on him by any means. The matchup was definitely in my favor, and he just he didn't get lucky, and I did. And it happens like that. But I was really happy that I was played against Pat Hoban and managed to beat him. It was pretty cool. My luck ran out after that, though. Round five, I hit Madolce. It was actually TG Madolce. It was Nate Forte, who actually ended up winning the whole event. So for one, mad props to him. Round one went back and forth, but then he opened the nuts. Like he eventually got the nuts. I tried to stall him out with constantly Durendal to shuffle his stuff back into the deck, which probably wasn't my best plan, but it worked for a while. But then he drew like he topped at the Nilfu and just went off and hit me for 5,000 in one turn. Uh, and then game two, I just like had this stupid strong setup, and then game three, I made a misplay and it cost me the game. But he said it was a really intense game, so I thought it was cool. I held my own against Nate Forte also, who won the whole event. Uh, that was my first loss today. Round six, I hit Infernity. The guy's name was Michael Strafati. He made like a really massive misplay game one, and he just scooped. Although, even if he hadn't, I had the means to go for game. Uh, that just the next turn, like I had calculated it. Round two, he opened the 10-minute turn nuts, and I was just like he did everything, got all the setup while I was sitting on a warning in my hand, and I had no max C, so I just couldn't do anything about that. I just drew and scooped. And game three, again, another misplay. I just played a nightmare at the wrong time, and he got it. But yeah. And then round seven, I hit Sylvan against Tej Trivedi. Game one, I hit him pretty hard. Game two, he opened Stardust Alcy, and I played around the Stardust, but I could not get around the Alcy. And then game three, I just hit him really hard. He had no way out of it. Round eight, I hit Evil Storm. It was Justin Ash. He also made top 16. Round one, he hit me pretty hard. I opened like only artifacts and trap tricks, and like I couldn't get rid of Ophion. Round two, he didn't open anything, and then round three, he opened everything, and I had no back row hate anyway, and I only had artifacts. So once again, yeah, this was the only match I legitimately did not like for two main reasons. The first one was it's Evil Swarm. That's just not a fun deck to play against, in my opinion. And two, he was an asshole. Like he was treating me like shit early in the game, and just like kind of treating it like a joke, and like I guess that's his way of seeing it as a joke, but I just don't find that very respectful. And then in the middle of game one, I had triggered a fire hand, and he had solemn warning it, which is possible. But a friend of mine who was watching the game, who's not super competitive, so he doesn't know all the rulings, just asked if that actually works, and the guy just like lit him up. And it's just like, yes, it's a rule, and you're like, you shouldn't rule shark this game, I'll go away. And I was just like, I was like, I just shooed my friend off because I didn't want him to get in trouble, and I was just like, dude, he just asked a question. He wasn't trying to rule shark the game. Just calm the fuck down. It's not that big of a deal. Because like he was bitching about it like right afterwards. He was also like, like you guys trying to rule shark, and he's not even right about it. And I was just, like, he was just asking a question, just chill. But I was just like, I didn't really care about winning. I just wanted to get out of there because I was like, this isn't even fun. But you know. There's just some people like that. Round 9, I kind of just stopped caring because I was X3 at that point. So I played Madolce, and I opened shit twice, so he just kind of throttled me. I just gave it to him. Yeah. And that was Brian Fan. And yeah, that was day 1. The 1K in one day, which was on the second day at the same time as the top 16. Round 1, what did I hit? I hit Hand Hero, and beat him game 1. He got me game 2 because I wasn't anticipating the hands because you never saw him game 1. And then game 3 I got him. Game 2 I hit Mermail, and it's like he got me strong game 1. Game 2 I hit him, and then game 3 I hit him again. Game 3 was a H.A.T.E mirror, and this was a teammate of the guy I played in the H.A.T.E mirror the day before, and he managed to get it out. Like, he had all the outs game 3. Game 4, or round 4, I actually hit Pat Hoban again. So I got to play Pat Hoban twice this weekend. And he, the first 2 rounds were about the same as the rounds yesterday. Game 1, I got him strong. Game 2, he opened the Feldman play, which I played around a little better this time, but he still managed to get through it. And then game 3 went back and forth for the longest time. It actually went overtime about 5 minutes. And I was sitting on a bluff play, like I had a set, and he thought it was Firehand when it was really just H.A.T.Trix Dionio. And like he just sat on it. It was like we just sat there for a few turns, and then he just got through all of it. And yeah, he just barely got it. So it was cool. We went 1 for 1. I won 1. He won 1. It was cool. Ironically, we both played each other in round 4 on both days. And then round 5, I hit. What did I hit round 5? God, I don't even remember anymore. I think I hit another H.A.T.E deck. I don't remember. Yeah, round 5 I hit another H.A.T.E deck because there was only 6 rounds, and then he won that one. And then round 6 I hit Madolce and I beat him. So I went 5-4 in the main event and got 55th. The 1K in one day, I went 3-3 and got 21st, and it was top 32 would get their 20 points for their invite to the championship. So I did get my invite to the championship for ARG in Cleveland at the end of July, but honestly, there was only like 28 people who hadn't dropped by the end of the event, so I could have gotten last place and still got my invite. So I don't really think it that much. Overall, I was pretty satisfied with the event. I think I did really well. So yeah. Guess I'll show my deck now. As I said, I was running Hand, Artifact, H.A.T.Trix, H.A.T.E, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it 40 good cards deck because that's what it is. It's 40 cards that shouldn't work together, but they do. So yeah. Alright, so for my monster lineup, this is the version I took to the 1K. I played a slightly different version the day before and during the main event, and just made some changes based on like stuff I perceived from the main event. And overall, I think the changes were worth it. I played 3 Moral Talk, 2 Beagle Talk. That's just standard artifacts. 3 Fire Hand, 3 Ice Hand. During the main event, I actually only played 2 of each, because when I was testing the Thursday before the event with my teammate, this shit works, I was clogging like ridiculously bad hands. Like I'd open like double Fire Hand and Ice Hand. I was just like opening 3 hands at a time, and I hated it so much that I just cut them to 2, just because like I figured it would clog less. And it did. Like I almost never opened multiple hands, which I loved, but at the same time, there were a lot of times where I just didn't see the hands at all. And just there were a lot of, like, I just really wanted hands, and just after like losing to Evil Swarm, I realized that having 6 hands is kind of valuable because it just lets you have outs to Evil Swarm and just other decks like that, and it just gives you your options. So in hindsight, yeah, I prefer 6 hands, and like when I played it at the 1K, it didn't really clog at all. So yeah. Also, going back to the artifact, I also was considering running 3 Moral Talk and no Beagle Talk, and then switching out Ignitions for MSTs, because I was sounding like I would be dead drawing Beagle Talk a lot. after I put Beagle Talk back in, I was dead drawing them a lot less. Like I feel like I was just having bad luck whenever I was testing. So yeah. So that's just I went back to the standard after trying to deviate. 3 Murmelio. There's glare on. Okay, there we go. 3 Murmelio. And 2 Dionaya. Because that's just standard trap tricks. I'm trying to figure out. There we go. Yeah, that never changed. I ran 3-2. And then I ran 2 card D. I don't know how many people are actually doing this. I know that I didn't see it in any builds except for one that topped a regional or something, and I really liked the idea because you never it generates you more advantage, and it's great in the slow format like this one that's very stun based, and it gives you the hand advantage that's very useful. I liked it. I originally put them in after I cut the hands down to 2. When I put them back to 3, I kept them in anyway. And it honestly didn't really clog that much. I thought the monster lineup was perfect. I really wouldn't change this, and I didn't main Maxi. I didn't think it was helpful in enough matchups. Ironically, one of the guys who got top 16 with Hat was running 2 Fire Hand, 2 Ice Hand like I was, so I thought that was interesting. So 2 Fire, 2 Ice definitely works. I still think I would prefer 3 of each. And then spells, 3 Ignition, 3 Duality, 1 Dichotomy. This card is god. Like I bought it before the event started, and I am so glad I did. Like I bought this and a few other cards that I still needed. It was and I sold cards to do it, but it was so beautiful. This helped me so many games. I'm really glad I got it. Dark Hole, this was nice in the mirror and against Geary and a few other decks. Overall, I did side it out a lot. I think I would end up siding it if I were to play again. I played Soul Charge during the 1K. I did not play this during the main event. I put it in just because I had an extra slot as I was modifying my deck. Just really, it was okay. I used it, I think, twice. And one time it did win me a game. The other time it didn't really help. I don't really think Soul Charge mixes well with this deck. So I would probably cut Soul Charge. It's better suited for other decks. It's just not for this deck, in my opinion. And that was the whole spell lineup. The trap lineup was 3 Sanctum. I played 1 Breakthrough and 2 Nightmares. During the main event, I was actually playing no Breakthrough and 3 Nightmares. Because my original logic was that most decks where I would keep Breakthrough in, they were hit harder by Nightmare. But after day 1, I missed the versatility of Breakthrough skill, so I put 1 back in. And then after today, I honestly wish I had 2 of each. They're both just really useful in their own situations. So in hindsight, I would put in a second Breakthrough skill. Probably cut the Soul Charge for it. 2 Call the Haunted, this is obvious. It's Haunted. Bottomless Solemn Torrential, the Holy Combo. I actually sided Solemn out a lot simply because your games just naturally go very long when you're running Hat, and you really don't want to have lower life points when you go to time, so I actually sided this out a lot. I only kept it in if like the first few games went really quickly. But yeah, I actually told people that I was siding this out a lot, and they just kind of gave me stupid ass looks. They're like, "Are you crazy? That's like you set this turn 1 and you win." And I was like, "You can also lose due to time." So this is my opinion. And then 2 Wiretap. This is beautiful. It's just everything is safe when you have a Wiretap, pretty much. Yeah. And that's the main deck. I was running Compulse during day 1. I cut it because it was not really useful in a lot of matches. I honestly think Compulse kind of sucks right now. Because, like, it helps against Dragon and not really. It helps against Dragon. That's about it. I guess Madolche too, but it's like, it doesn't really do anything. I don't like it. I think Compulse is kind of shitty right now. So I cut it. Let's see, extra deck. I ran 1 Gaia Dragon. This actually saved me game 1 because we had gone to time and the guy had a monster set down, which I was guessing was Hornet or Ladybug. So as I always do in time, I went full out aggro and just dropped Gaia Dragon on my Pleiades, and he just kind of got this. He kind of just went, "Oh no," and I was just like, "Pierce, Pierce, Pierce" for game. So yeah, I'm actually really glad I put Guy Dragon. Durandal, Pleiades, Volcasaurus. I don't know if I ever made him. I don't remember. Tyrus, I made him I think once or twice. And Zenmayo, I never made it, but I got it just in case I had to play against Gyria. I never got it when I played against the Gyria guy, but it didn't matter because I won anyway. And Gligon, he's a generic 5. It's just nice to have. One Dweller. I was playing 2 during the main event because I figured like it'd be nice to have 2 against the mirror and against just any hands. I never ended up playing 2, so I just took one out and sold it, and then just kept this one. Karen Gorgon, this saved my ass against Insector. Just anytime they tried to target something with Hornet, I could change the target to be something else. And it was he couldn't play around it. Well, it's Cosmo Pro because I played Ragnar Zero at the same time. It was just like Ragnar Zero is even harder on Insector, so like just he couldn't play around that. I bought an Exodus because I figured it'd probably be a good idea to have an Exodus in a rank 4 deck, and I just really wanted an Exodus. I actually only played him twice, and they were both in non-tournament games. They were just friendlies. I never played him in a tournament match because every time I wanted to, I either lost before it got to my turn, or I ended up having even card advantage with my opponent, so I never got to actually play Exodus, but I was glad the opportunity was there, and I don't regret getting him. I played a Cowboy just because I know a lot of people run Heartland Draco for the reason people used to run Cowboy. I honestly kind of hate Heartland Draco. I have it here. I didn't run him day 1, but I put him back in day 2 after I cut the Dweller. I hate Heartland Draco. There was never a situation where I got my opponent down to 2,000 and just like could safely do Heartland Draco. And like they were always either directly above 2,000 or like if I got them down to 2,000 it was during that turn, and then main phase 2 I couldn't do Heartland Draco. I hated it. Like in testing I won more games with Cowboy than I did with Heartland Draco, but during the main event I didn't use either of them. So I'd probably cut them both really for other things. My stroke, this was a nice stall card. It forces the mirror to make Black Ship of Corn, but outside of that, he's I'd keep him anyway just because he's my stroke, but he could be better. Black Ship, really good card in the mirror. Just send hands to the graveyard, just beautiful. And Silent Honor Arc. That was my #1 priority card I needed to buy. Just wasn't Arc. Because if I wanted strong rank 4 plays, I obviously have to have the best rank 4, and he actually saved me quite a few games. So, really glad I bought Honor Arc. And there's extra side deck. This, I guess it changed a little bit. Quite a bit. Ran 2D Crow. I actually was not running these day 1. I was running Zombie World because I figured that'd be nice against Bujin, which didn't matter because I never hit it. I switched to DD Crow after I realized there were quite a few matchups where I wanted it, like Insector, Infernity, Dragon Ruler, Mermail, because they did rule that DD Crow cancels the Atlanteans. I don't know why, but that's what they said. Actually, yeah, day 1 I had Zombie World, and I decided I hated it after I played it against Pat Hobe in round 2, and it did nothing. It held him off until he got Black Rose, and then he murdered me. So I hate Zombie World. I generally hate Floodgates in general. So I just put in DD Crow, and it put in so much more work during the 1K. 3 Max C, I'll be honest, I'm kind of iffy on this card. I'm not sure if I like it. The reason is, it is good against Mermail, and it is good against Dragon Ruler, and I guess it's okay against Sylvan, and it's pretty good against Infernity, or I guess, kind of. It's against Infernity and like Madolce, or so any deck that can OTK. If they have the OTK, they're not going to care because you don't have any hand traps in this deck that you can use to abuse Max C. So if they're going to push for game, they're going to push for game. And just like really, Max C didn't feel too useful to me. Like it gave me a few good draws, but I don't know if I entirely like it. I might cut it to 2 or cut it entirely. Haven't decided yet. Max C is just a good card though, so I'm gonna keep it. 2 MST. My standard ways to fit this in is I would side out 1 each of Beagle Talk Ignition for 2 MST just for a little more versatility in case I hit a Floodgate. It was pretty good, but I didn't feel it was really necessary, so I might cut MST also. 2 Crossout. I was actually running 3 Crossout and a Mind Control during the day 1 event. Only times I played Crossout were in was against Geargia, and I never saw it. And then mind control just didn't really help me. I mean, in theory it does, and I know why people run it. It's just not something I felt was really helping me that much, so I cut them for the next card I'm about to explain. But cross out, it's good, but I just never got it. So yeah. Two Blackhorns. I was actually maining these day one because I figured, because I was debating between Blackhorn and Dimensional Prison, and I ended up opting for Blackhorn because I felt it would hit more matchups than D Prison did. But I ended up just like realizing there were a lot of matches where Blackhorn just didn't help because this is a really diverse meta, and I just figured it'd be better to side Blackhorn. I'm glad I did because it made my game ones a lot stronger. This is what I cut the Nobleman and Mind Control for, just Blackhorn. And 3 debunk. This card is godlike. Like, this saved me so many games. Mirror matches, Dragon Rulers, Mermail, Sylvan. I opened triple debunk on the Sylvan guy, and that's how I beat him game 3. And then, like, it was beautiful. I love debunk. And then Deep Trap Trap Hole. This was my MVP against, like, high level decks. Like, this saved me against Sylvan. It saved me against Pat Hoban because I deep darked his Stardust and just stuff like that, and just the fact that it just banishes and doesn't destroy, and it's effectively another bottomless you can search against those high level decks. I sided against Hoban both times. I sided it against Mermail, and I sided it against Sylvan. I also sided against the hero deck I played. Never got to use it because, like, I set it for Miracle Fusion, but I never got to play it because he popped it with Gemini Spark. So yeah, that was the side deck. I liked it. Could have done a little different, I guess. So yeah, I didn't run Deep Prison at all. I considered it, but I figured there'd be better options. Like, I figured if I was gonna run it all, I would end up siding it, and I decided only for the mirror. And at that point, might as well use Debunk. So that's why I didn't use Deep Prison. Uh, Overall, I was really satisfied with the deck. Most of the mistakes I made, or most of the losses I got, were not at fault of the deck. They were either a fault of myself or a fault of first turn advantage being too stupid good this format. Which is honestly the really only really big problem I have with this format is its first turn advantage is kind of ridiculous. Like, I lost a lot of games simply by losing the die roll. Which is the similar problem I had with March 2011, which is another one of my favorite formats ever. Just I like the diversity, I like the stun aspect, or I guess control aspects better. Just the slow-paced games that, like, you have to think through everything. I really like that. I would say H.A.T.E is actually now in my, like, top list of favorite decks, like up there with, like, Plant Synchro, Dragon Ruler, Mermail, just like shit like that. It's a really fun deck. I really ended up enjoying it. I might try like a fire tricks, like fire instead of hand, because there was a guy who got top 4 at the ARG using Fire Fist trap tricks, like no artifacts, but I thought that was really cool, and I kind of like the Fire Fist engine, even though I thought the deck itself was like kind of boring to play against or play with, but over time it's grown on me, so I kind of want to play around with that and see how it goes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to the ARG championship in Cleveland because that's a bit of a drive for me, and Shadeworks didn't get his points, so I'm not going to force him to go to an event he can't even enter. So I can see myself not making it to that. So yeah, I think that's it for this. Overall, I'm really satisfied. It wasn't quite the like comeback or impact into the game I was really expecting. I didn't do nearly as well as I thought, but I didn't tank totally hard, which I was really afraid of. Like, I was very nervous going into round one because I was playing with a friend of mine who was playing. He was playing H.A.T.E also. Like, I just met him at the event, and like he was just beating me so bad, and I was so terrified. I was like, man, what if I hit all mirror matches and I'm just gonna get throttled? He's like, dude, chill, you're gonna be fine. And then, like, I like blazed through the first 4 rounds. He's like, you see what I tell you, you're gonna be fine. And then I crashed after that. But yeah. So yeah, that's about it. Kudos to you if you got through this, because according to my camera, it's almost 30 minutes. I do this at the end of every big event, although my last big event was YCS Philly, so I guess that says something. yeah, I like this. I will definitely do another one again if it comes in the area. Next one's in Philly. I don't think I'll make that one either. Just too much money. I am a poor college student. Yeah, so thanks for watching, YouTube, and I'll see you next time. Deuces.